As the year comes to an end, we all tend to set our sights on our goals for next year. I'm starting to really do that in my personal life and in my beauty space here and my makeup collection and what I want to accomplish with my makeup collection next year. I already have a video that I just put out on my 15 that I plan to pan. And these are more of like products that I want to use up all the way. So I'm going to link that for you if you are interested in watching that. But today's video is all about eyeshadows and face palettes that I think that I might be able to hit pan on in the new year. So let me get the record straight though. I am most certainly not going to be stressing myself out by making it huge goals and limitations to myself for getting these pans accomplished. I have really turned into a more naturally organic panner where I want to use all of my makeup collection as a whole. I want to get lots and lots of love out of everything that I own. That means that I'm not necessarily going to maybe see large gains on certain types of things, especially eyeshadow palettes, because I own a lot of them. I mean, in my opinion, a lot of them. I own like 15. So it's a small, moderate, meek and demure makeup collection. So I want to share with you today the different eyeshadows that I think that I might be able to hit pan on. And the first one I think is going to be a very lofty goal because it is my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. And from what I've heard, hitting pan on Too Faced eyeshadows is very, very difficult. But I love this palette so much, and I have some dips, some respectable dips in some of the shades. And I'm actually using this on my eyes today. For work today, I did a one shadow look using this shade, which is Georgia, all over my lid. I kind of tapped it on and then blended it with my brush, and then I used Charmed, I'm Sure, as a liner. But to spruce it up for you guys a little bit, I then took Puree and added it to my crease. I topped Georgia with Cobbler to add a little bit of lightness to my eye, and so that kind of spruced it up a little bit. But I really like to use this White Peach and Peaches and Cream as lid setting shades when I use this palette. Lustrous and Cobbler are some of my favorite shimmers in this palette. Georgia is a really great, I think I called this the wrong name earlier. This one's Georgia. This one is Cobbler, and this one is Lustrous. I really like to use this one also as sort of a lid setting shade. And this palette's just really a lot of fun to me. I think that it's something that I have to remind myself that I can use all year long. Even though it smells lovely of summer and the peachy goodness and with the bright pops of pink, it still really works well even like right now. And it's wintertime, and I can do kind of a neutral look with a pop on my lips, and boom, there you go. So some shade in this eyeshadow palette I would love to hit pan on next year. We'll see if I can actually do it though. And I may be brave and try to track my uses, but I don't know that I will because I really honestly don't know which shade I want to sort of put my sights on. So I'm not going to count uses. Now I know that I'm going to be able to hit another pan in my ABH Cosmos palette. This is another one of my favorite palettes. I have already kind of accidentally hit pan on Super Cluster, this blue shade, because I've dropped this several times and it's broken several times. So I do have a pan in that one, but not from usage. I really honestly think that I will be able to hit pan on Space Dust, which is the one that I use very often in my crease when I use this palette. So I bet, because you can see that dip right there, I bet that I'm going to be able to hit my pan pretty soon. Maybe even Sun, because that's another one of my favorite shades in this palette. So between the two of these, I think that I'm going to be able to hit a pan next year. And I probably will track my uses on those two shades only to see how many more uses it takes to get those pans. Next, I want to unveil some lofty kind of goal that I have for my ABH Norvina palette. This was a palette that I used for my 2024 Pan That palette, but I modified the rules, and in modifying the rules, I was able to stay motivated on this project to pretty much October, when I felt like I had reached the goals that I had set for myself, and I felt like I could close my project kind of early. I have a pan in every shade except for Soul. Incense has the tiniest baby pan. Tiny, tiny, tiny right there in the middle. I do not have a pan on Volatile or Eccentric or Celestial. I know that I'm very close to hitting pan on Celestial, so I really think that that's the one that I want to try to hit an additional pan in for 2025. But to get one of these kind of neutral shades would be kind of cool too, even though they're not really very close because I haven't used them that much. Things like this shade and this shade, I hit those pans by using those as liners. So I may try to like think outside the box and see if I can use these in a way that's not just as an eyeshadow shadow. And ABH shadows are really easy to hit pan on, but I'm definitely going to try to report back to you with Celestial right there. And if you want to see my progress as I'm going through all of these and you're interested in following me along to see how I do next year, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I have a few pans in my Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. I love this palette so much. I'm not really a cool toned eyeshadow wearer, but this is one that I really, really enjoy using. So much so that I have a pan in the Love Stone shade. I have a pan in this pink one called Cherished. And then I have a pan in Quartz, although Quartz is actually my least favorite shade. And I think I hit that pan because it was chunking out and like there was a hard pan on it, and I just really didn't like that shade. So I think I actually hit that pan sort of unintentionally, but I'm going to take it. I already have 3 pans in this eyeshadow palette, and I think with some, moderate intentional use, I could probably hit pan in Blissful. While this wasn't one of my original favorite shades, my friend DW over at Deb's Beauty Diary and I kind of ranked all of these shades, and I'll leave that video for you below too, in case you're interested, and go follow her because she's really fun. So originally I didn't like the shade so much, and I was swatching it. I found that under the base of this is really, really unique, and I wanted, it's kind of flaky too. I wanted to explore it more because it has sort of a brown undertone, purpley brown undertone. So after that video, I started using this shade a lot more often, and it's starting to show. So I think I can hit pan on that next year. I also think that I can hit pan on Abundance, because Abundance is actually my favorite shade in this eyeshadow palette. It looks very gray and taupey, but it's actually a nice purple color. And I think that if it swatches, let's see, yeah, now you can kind of see the purple undertone in it. I love that shade so much. It's such a surprise to me. I think I can hit pan in that one too. So I think by the end of 2025, I might be able to hit up 2 more pans in my Huda Rose Quartz. Now I have 2 face palettes that I wanted to share with you, and these might be kind of lofty goals too. These are the only 2 face palettes that I own, but I think that there are a few things in these that I have used enough that I might be able to hit pan. In my Hourglass face palette that I got a few years ago, I use this setting powder a lot, and it's hard for you to see exactly. You can kind of see right there where the dip is starting to form right there a little bit. I really think that I might be able to hit the waffle on that if I remember to use this as a setting powder a lot more often. I really do like that powder under my eyes. It's not super heavy or cakey on my under 40 eyes, and so I think it'd be really cool if I could hit the waffle pan on that one. And lastly, new to my collection this year actually is the Physicians Formula Butter Dream Team palette, and I have gotten some really good use on Saucy Mauve here. I had this in my deck of panning project that I wanted to wear away the middle of it. I got that goal accomplished. So now I'm thinking, I wonder if I could actually hit pan on that. And I think it'd be really cool if I could. So I'm going to make that a goal for myself. That is a shade that I like using, especially when I'm in a hurry, because you do not need a highlighter. I kind of don't put highlighter on that often anyway. But when I wear that blush, it's very, very shiny and very, very glowy. So you feel like you're just lit from within when you wear that. So these are the things that I think that I can like get some extra love on in the next year. These are the things that I feel like these are older palettes to me, except for this one. I have used all of these things enough and I feel like they are still really good. This right here, this experiment, is a really good reminder that just because something is old, like this guy right here, this palette is years old. This, I mean, not for me, it's a couple years old, but it's been on the market for a really long time. This palette I've had for like 3 years, and it's been on the market for way longer than 3 years. So these two little cuties right here just go to show that all of that new stuff is really nice, but the stuff that you already have in your collection is still really good, and you should try to get some use out of it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you'll subscribe before you leave and leave me a comment below to let me know how many eyeshadow palettes are you going to try to pan this year? How many pans do you already have? Let's have a panning discussion down below. I'll see you later. Bye.